Hey guys, Jordan from Precondo here. I'm really excited to announce the first Oikoi living community launch, 66 Amelia, right in the heart of Cabbagetown. A few months back, I made a video on the Oikoi living formula, as I called it, which is essentially a 3-unit main building plus a laneway suite in the back, fully condominiumized. So each of those 4 units are available for individual sale, and the 3 main units come with a ground floor studio that is titled to them as well for additional living space or for a rental suite. So this is our primary rendering of the front facade of the building. One of the beautiful things about Cabbagetown and this street in particular is almost everything is deemed heritage. So you can't touch or change things in any way. And along with that principle, of course, we'll be keeping the same facade, but we'll be gutting the interior down to the studs. This is about a 8 to 12 month build cycle. And it's something I'm really excited about because Toronto doesn't have a lot of this missing middle type of product. Now, Oikoi, the developer, has a ton of experience building similar style buildings in the French Quarter in New Orleans. And of course, this is also a very common type of build in Europe. It's just not something we see a lot of in Toronto. Now, the focus with all Oikoi living communities is walkability and being in the heart of great neighborhoods. This is no exception to the rule. Obviously, you're right in the heart of Cabbagetown at Amelia and Sackville. So just to dive into the location a little bit further here, if you're not overly familiar with the neighborhood, like I said, Parliament is here, Amelia is here, Sackville is right here. You have, of course, just a little bit west of Riverdale West Park, you have the Don Valley Trail, and you are surrounded by amazing neighborhood amenities. Now, if we zoom into the development a little bit closer and we tilt our view, you'll note that the rooftop of 66 Amelia right here, this is the building, the rooftop is higher than most surrounding or all surrounding buildings for the most part, right? And so what's really interesting is we have a rooftop terrace that has just killer views all around, but particularly to the west, you're going to get the skyline, you're going to get the treetops. It's going to be a very nice place to spend some time. So we'll get into amenities shortly. But first, I just want to give you sort of the lay of the land. So this is a cutout 3D massing of the building. Now, of course, this is a very rudimentary massing for approval purposes. The building's going to look much better than this, but regardless, this will help give you context. So you have 3 units in the main building. You have the first floor, second floor, and third floor, and of course, each of those 3 units comes titled with a studio suite in the elevated ground level or basement, but it isn't really a basement because you're so far out of the ground and you have natural light in each studio. And then on the back side of the building, you have the laneway suite as well as the parking access. Up here, you have the rooftop terrace and you have a barbecue courtyard here in between the main building and the laneway suite, so lots of outdoor amenity space. So here's a rendering of the rooftop terrace. Now, this is going to have just amazing views all the way around, but particularly to the west and the south for the skyline views. And then in addition, you have this on the ground level. You have a patio, lots of landscaping, and a barbecue terrace that you can use as well. Of course, you only have 4 units, so the likelihood that you're ever going to run into wanting outdoor amenity space and not having it available to you is slim to none. Furthermore, it's worth noting that in Toronto, in your standard condo building, your sort of 200, 300, 400 unit building, you have 24 square feet of amenity space per unit, right? On a per unit basis. In this building, in 66 Amelia, you have 431 square feet of amenity space, of shared space per unit, because obviously it's only a 4-unit building, so you have a ton of amenity space per unit. Now, if you'd like the brochure, the floor plans, and the price list, the link is in the description to download that, and I won't go through it in too much detail, but we have a full feature and finish list. Naturally, this is a luxury upscale building, and so you'll see everything you expect to see there. You have 9 to 10 foot ceilings depending on where in the unit you're in. So I won't bore you on those details because you can read all that at your own leisure, but I will show you some of the renderings here. So here's a rendering of the kitchen in one of the main 3 units. Here is a bedroom rendering, and then you have a really nice living room rendering from one of the 3 interior units. And I'll show you the floor plan of this so you can get a little bit more context. So here's the floor plan of that unit here. So when we're looking at that living and dining space, you're kind of seeing it from this angle here where you have your den, your living and dining, and it's really wide living and dining. So you're almost 13 feet wide from here to here, and of course much wider here. And so that is what that is going to look like. Here is a rendering of the laneway suite with post and beam construction. So here's the laneway suite's kitchen. And here's what the laneway suite is actually going to look like. So here's sort of the perspective of seeing it from the laneway. So you have your parking there, and then you have the laneway suite, which is 2 stories. So it is larger than the main building units. And then here is the rendering from sort of the courtyard. So if you were in the courtyard in between the main building and the laneway, this is what it would look like. Now, each of the 3 main units does have a lockoff suite, and this is one of the most exciting parts about this development, at least to me personally. So if we hop back over to the floor plans, you can see that this particular unit has your main floor unit, which is 1,200 square feet, just shy of 1,200 square feet, right? And you get a studio as well with a nice bay window that is 335 square feet. Each one has a different sized interior studio. So this one's much smaller at 194 square feet. This is the smallest studio, but all of them have direct natural light. Now, these lockoff suites can be used really however you want, right? So you can use these as a home gym, a home office, even storage space if you really wanted to. They do have natural light, so that kind of be a waste, but it's your unit. It's up to you to do with what you please. Of course, you could also rent them out for additional rental income, which is in particular what interests me so much in these units. Now, the Cabbagetown area in general is quite a high demand location in terms of rental suites. Is very limited inventory, and occupancy rates are really high. So if you wanted to go that route, it'd be fairly easy to derive extra income from that suite. But of course, again, I think reality is most people will use them as a home gym or home office, that type of thing. Now, the developer Oikoi Living has decades and decades of experience building homes and also building similar developments to these in the French Quarter of New Orleans. So this is not a new concept to them, although it may be kind of a new concept to Toronto. They're also involved in some really interesting buildings, in particular 15 to 17 Elm, which is pictured here. A really beautiful building that I'm really looking forward to, that's inspired by the Gaudi building in Spain. If you want more information on 66 Amelia or any of the upcoming Oikoi sites, the link is in the description, or you can just reach out to me or my colleague Brian Persaud directly, and we'll be happy to help you out. I hope you guys are as excited about this site as I am, and I will see you guys next video.